Hi everybody, welcome to Livewire Review. I'm Matthew.
And I'm Jeremy.
And today we have a 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid, and we're gonna jump right in because we just finished driving the Tucson Hybrid about a week ago, and this thing has all the same numbers. I didn't have to do any research for this one.
Except for a surprising one, but we'll get to that soon. Stay tuned. Okay, we're gonna start off at the front end of this 2023 Santa Fe Hybrid. It comes with the same drivetrain as the Tucson Hybrid. This is a 1.6 liter turbocharged engine, putting out 226 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. I really do like this drivetrain. It seems to be a fairly efficient design. It gets 7.1 liters per 100 in the city and 7.9 liters per 100 on the highway. And we have confirmed that with one of our customers. He consistently gets around 8 liters per 100 kilometers. So a vehicle of this weight, I believe it's around 4,200 pounds. That's pretty good economy numbers for something of this size. And we've worked out some of the issues with this vehicle. We talked about that a lot in the Tucson video. We got rid of the blue coolant. We've gone to a pink coolant, so there's no issues there. We had a couple of sensor issues up here in the front that were changed under warranty, but a software update took care of that. Okay, we're gonna start off with the storage end of these vehicles. When you have the seats up, you're looking at 1,030 liters of space, and we got a couple of neat little spots where they hide everything. Now this is the hybrid model, so the 12-volt battery is hidden under this cover. It takes up a little bit of the space here, but they more than make up for it when they have 3 different trays underneath here. So if we were to take this out, this would actually be a very cavernous space, and maybe those numbers are a little bit more misleading than we thought. And now, with the seats down, we have 2,030 liters of space with the seats down. So it's a very cavernous space. And what we just noticed here is you actually have a power retractable thing for the rear seats. So they can just flip down at the touch of a button without you having to reach around the vehicle. And as usual, we always check out the back seat in these vehicles. As for reference, I'm 6'1" tall. Now, there is lots of room for my knees in this vehicle, and the floor is actually flatter in this one than it is in the Tucson. So this is one of the advantages of the Santa Fe over the Tucson, is a nice flat floor, which means that the middle of the vehicle is going to be a better place to seat if you are an adult. And I still have some headroom here. It looks to be about 1 or 2 inches above my head. And that's about all I can find in here. Like most SUVs, we're only going to fit 2 car seats. The third car seat still is not going to fit in the middle of this. It's the same with the Tucson. For some reason, all these mid-size SUVs just cannot fit 3 across. You have to go to one of those full-size SUVs, kind of like a Toyota Sequoia size, in order to fit 3 car seats across. Well, we're here inside the 2023 Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid, the luxury edition. Luxury.
Well, I will give them that. I mean, it does feel nice in here. Certainly the materials that they trim this vehicle with are very comfortable. I do like the use of this kind of fake carbon fiber. I mean, when you're in the Tucson and you're getting the material accents, this is definitely a far cry from that, as well as the usage of like the piano blacks and all the chrome trimming. I do like when they deck out the steering wheel and stuff like this. It gives you that, I dare say, executive feeling. It makes you feel like, oh yeah, this thing is nice.
It definitely gives you that premium feel. Hyundai's fit and finish, I just always blown away by it. It's not something that's always talked about. We're always picking on Tesla for their panel gaps and the way their interiors fit. But Hyundai's interiors and their panel gaps are just top notch. I can't believe how good these cars are.
So what features are we actually getting in here? Let's kind of run down the list. You're getting the large panoramic sunroof. Ooh, you get the driver assistance features when it tells me that truck is pulling away because I'm too busy talking.
That's correct. Uses some of the built-in features like the camera and the radar to see if the vehicle is pulling away from you and gives you a notice on the dash.
No, if you're a looky-loo like me, that's kind of nice on occasion. I'm a little busy kind of staring around doing my own thing. I know that about myself.
Yeah.
You also get the drive mode selector. So I find this funny. You got this large wheel here with your drive and terrain selection and your different sports, ecos, comfort, and your mud and sand and all that fun stuff. You get the exact same programming and drive features in the Tucson as well, with just a convenient little switch. You don't need to occupy, 20% of my control area with this large wheel to accomplish the same thing, literally. The exact same feature set.
And as I'm looking through here, they've taken away the lock function for the four-wheel drive. So they've made this into a programming mode. You have to choose terrain, snow, mud, or sand in order to lock the four-wheel drive. So
That's
I don't
a good
actually
catch.
know which mode locks it. You have to read the owner's manual and find out what all these settings do.
Yeah, that's a good catch. I did not notice that, but you are correct. The lock button, the physical lock button is gone. I can no longer just be like, oh, this looks hairy, click.
Yep.
I got to know what I'm doing.
So this particular one has heated and cooled seats, and of course the heated steering wheel.
I do.
And it is heated all the way around. One of my favorite things about Hyundai vehicles is how it keeps your entire steering wheel warm.
I do appreciate a heated steering wheel. They are nice. Even on a day like today where it's only 11 degrees, it's still nice.
Yeah, because we're shivering a little bit just from doing the video outside there, and we both have our heated seats on. It's a nice touch.
What else do you get with this luxury package?
We got our auto-dimming mirror here. We got our full-length sunroof with the auto-closing sunshade as well.
You get the nice leather seats, which are quite plush and comfortable. I don't know if it's a model specific, but you do have wireless charging down here as well as a USB port.
And they always love to highlight that these are lighted up at night, so you're not going to be fumbling around for the cords.
Yeah, but like, I don't like this drop-in wireless charger with this little locking thing.
We
I
had
find
one
that a little
customer who
odd.
said their phone actually overheated in that because it's too enclosed, and they were also running Android Auto at the same time as well as wireless charging. My tip for them was just plug it in. That way it doesn't have to work so hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the ride in here for a second, because we noticed on that road back there it was undulating a little bit. Or what was the word you used for that?
Hobby horsing. It kind of was just doing the just a little bit as it kind of found its center. Again, coming from one Hyundai product right into the next comparable model, this certainly rides a lot nicer than its hybrid counterpart in the Tucson. It's still not impressive, let's put it that way.
You know what? I'm going to throw the wheelbases up on the screen just so we can compare the Tucson versus the Santa Fe, because I think that might be wheelbase related, not quite sure. Speaking as a technician who works on these vehicles, Hyundai's suspension seems to last for a fairly long time. The only major repairs we do to this is tie rods when they're really old, sway bar links in the front, and the lower ball joints once in a while. And they're not expensive parts to change, so I really don't have any complaints about their suspension. It's just driving all these different cars, they don't have the most sophisticated suspension setup. They don't corner like a Mazda 3. They don't plant themselves like the Tesla products do. They work, but they're not spectacular. That's basically my opinion on a Hyundai suspension system.
Yeah, you're not far off the mark. They found a setup that works. They found a setup that they were able to produce cost effectively.
That's true.
And they just rolled with it. They didn't feel the need to update it constantly, right? And that's okay on one hand. On the other hand, in an ever-changing landscape where handling, performance, and fuel efficiency are all top of mind, it's a little tougher to sell a product like that still feels like you're driving an SUV out of the late 90s, early 2000s, when you've got products like you mentioned, like the Tesla, or even if you get into things like your Audis, your Mercedes, et cetera, that just have that more premium suspension built into them now.
Yeah, and they're just more planted. You don't get the same tire wear out of some of those setups as maybe you would out of this if you don't get your alignment done right away.
Exactly. And speaking of that, it's just that driving feel in general. You do get plenty of push and pull with this power plant, this 1.6 liter hybrid setup. It's got lots of jam, let's put it that way. But we found ourselves instantly going, okay, it's the same drivetrain as the Tucson.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, this
Same
is
power
a
output. Yep.
same power output. They didn't tweak it at all. No changes there. So no surprises in performance. It still feels the same. It'll stick you in your seat in sport mode, that's for sure. Like, you're having a lot of fun with it. But it's not overly impressive when you take that power, don't change anything, and put it into a heavier package. It just kind of takes away some of that fun factor. Like, that's my foot on the floor there. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's great. But like in the Tucson, you kind of had that, whoa, okay, there it is. This was like, come on, you can do it, you can get there. It's just, it's a little disappointing.
Yeah, it's a little heavier.
Like, I feel like you could have mapped this engine a little bit differently. You could have maybe pumped up the boost, maybe pumped up the electric output. I don't know. I'm not the engineer, but I feel like there was something to do on the other end of this thing that could have just made it a little bit better suited for the weight and size of this vehicle.
that does bring me to the plug-in hybrid version of this, because that one has 260 horsepower versus the 226 of this one.
Exactly.
However, we're going to get more into detail with that when we finally get our hands on one. We haven't reviewed one yet because every time they come into the dealership, they are sold.
In and out.
Yes. But we do have a lot to say about the plug-in hybrid version of this, so stay tuned for that when we do finally get a chance to do that video. For now, though, if you're going to come out and test drive this vehicle, also test drive the Nissan Ariya. It's one of the most underrated electric vehicles we've tested, and yet it's so good. Try them back to back, and then you actually won't be impressed by the power in this anymore. Once you get behind the wheel of an EV, it's just not the same. You know?
No, you don't get that instant torque fun. The electric motor assist in this does take out the turbo lag. They overlap each other. It gives it a nice seamless pull when you do get into it, which is great.
Yep.
But yeah, you don't get that same, like, I'm launching a dragster every single time I leave a stop sign effect. That's fair.
That and all the sound deadening they put in those vehicles are so quiet and so nice to drive.
Yeah.
This is very good for what it is. It only has single pane windows on it, but it is covering up the road noise fairly well. I don't hear people talking next to the vehicle like I do in some products with single pane windows.
No, it's fairly comfortable, fairly quiet. This one does not come with the upgraded audio system, but when we do have it bumping, it does sound quite nice. All your controls in this thing, again, very ergonomic, very good. I just keep finding myself talking about the same thing, which is why this thing?
Yeah, it's only got 5 seats, right? There's no 7-seat.
There's no 7-seat version of it. Cargo space is actually a hair less.
That was the most
than the Tucson
thing.
Yes.
Because what was it, 2109 in the Tucson when the seats were down? And this one was about 2045. Sorry, my memory's hazy on this already.
We'll put them up on screen just to verify them. But the difference was not a huge difference, but I would like to see it skewed to the larger vehicle.
Yeah, the
I would
Santa
like
Fe
to
should
see
be
the
bigger.
slight edge to the larger vehicle, not the smaller vehicle. So by the numbers, they're comparable in size, and by the numbers, when you're looking at this product, which, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to quote this number wrong. It was 48 and change. Let's call it $48,000 here in Canada, versus the Tucson Hybrid at 43 and change.
Yeah, 43.
$5,000 difference for a bigger, less capable, less efficient. What was our efficiency difference? Almost a liter per 100.
7.1, 7.9 for this one. Whereas the Tucson is 6.3 and 6.6.
So almost a liter different.
Almost a liter.
Almost a liter better in the Tucson. Better fuel efficient, a hair more room, the exact same components. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the usage case for this vehicle. And that's just, the Tucson redesign is newer than the Santa Fe redesign, because this was always the flagship big SUV, and we're looking forward to driving the new one, obviously, when the Santa Fe comes in. It's just, at this stage, I don't get it. I don't get this product, and it's nice, it's comfortable for what it is. I'm not going to say don't get it if you like it, but
it's a great driving vehicle.
From a practical standpoint, where my brain always goes, I can't get behind this one.
Yeah, so basically our recommendation today is to go with the Tucson.
That's what I would do. Wait for the new Santa Fe or go with the Tucson.
Okay, well, we're pulling back into the dealership. We're going to wrap up this video. Stay tuned. Okay, we're coming to the end of this video, and we came up with some interesting conclusions with this one. What did you think of this one, Matt?
I kept asking myself, what was the point of this vehicle? It's $5,000 more than the Tucson Hybrid comparable to this vehicle. We're still utilizing the same power plant, the same approximate sizes internally as well as externally.
In fact, maybe even just a little bit smaller, right?
Maybe even just a little bit smaller. It's a pointless vehicle?
Well,
I'm gonna say
even tow the same amount of weight, too.
No, I'm sticking to pointless. Why is this in the lineup? There is a refresh coming. That's the only thing that Santa Fe's got going for it. And if you haven't seen it yet, it's got a really Land Rover-esque vibe. It is coming next year. Should be seeing those in the spring. But for right now, if you're looking at one of these, why?
Maybe it comes down to styling. You never know.
Everybody's got their choices, I suppose. But for me, go below. Let us know what you think of this one. Leave us a comment. Always hit follow. See what we're going to be doing next. And if you are interested in one of these, well, we got a few of them on the lot here at Bourgeois Hyundai in Midland, Ontario. Feel free to give the sales department a call, and they'll walk you through everything about it, even though you could just get a Tucson. And I'm going to see myself out.
Okay, well, thanks for watching.